Hello everybody, so we're going to start today's program with a little bonus feature, and this is 3 things you'll probably almost never hear a YouTube fragrance reviewer say. Number 1. This fragrance was reformulated a few years ago. The new version has an improved smell and increased longevity and projection. Number 2. I'd love to tell you how many hours or inches this fragrance projects for, but that would just be silly as it's impossible to judge that when you're wearing a fragrance. Number 3. I was going to spend a couple of minutes on the box and bottle, including describing the barcode and ingredients information, but I realised that that's just a complete waste of everybody's time. Hello everyone, welcome back to another issue of Great Reformulations. So today we're going to be looking at another one from the House of Christian Dior. In the last video in this series I did Dior Jewels from 1980. Today I'm going to be looking at the 2011 reformulation of Dior Homme the Edt. Now this fragrance was originally released in 2005 and the perfumier behind that one was Olivier Polge. In 2011 it was reformulated by Francois Demachy. And the reformulation of this fragrance is one of the ones that is widely regarded as having been done pretty well. In fact, I do know people who prefer the reformulated version to the original, so I haven't actually tried the original, and the purpose of these videos in this series is not to do a comparison of the original versus the reformulation and see which one's better or see how close the reform is. It's just to say that the one we can get today is definitely really good and fine, and obviously if we can get some information about the old one and what people say about the comparison, I will throw that in there. This fragrance, when it was released in 2005, was really groundbreaking because it harnessed the note of iris in a really unusual way in a masculine fragrance, because it conjured up a sort of lipstick-like smell using the note of iris, and that was what was so interesting about it. So the notes on Dior Homme, I'm going to put them up on the screen. I'll just mention the most important ones. They are iris, lavender, leather and cocoa, in my opinion. You can see the other notes that are in there as well. Depending where you go, you get slightly different note listings. So let's spray a little bit and remind myself how this one smells. Yeah, so the opening on this one really does remind you a little bit of opening up a makeup bag and the smell of lipstick and maybe other makeup type stuff, which has or did traditionally have iris in it. So my memory of this is based on perhaps my childhood memories of my mum's makeup or lipstick, I guess. As an adult, I haven't spent large amounts of time delving through ladies' makeup bags, and allegations by my ex-wife that I did spend a lot of time rooting through the underwear drawers of some of her female friends at dinner parties are completely untrue. So for me, it's the idea of lipstick based on a vague notion, but it does seem a very familiar smell. There's lots of other things going on in here, though. People sometimes say this is a little bit of an effeminate leaning fragrance, but there is an element of that, but there's a lot more to it. So what we get with this one is, apart from the lipstick thing, there's a little bit of a bitter green chocolate cocoa type of smell. It's not really like a gourmand chocolate, but more like the actual... it evokes for me the memory of cocoa powder, dry cocoa powder, so slightly bitter chocolatey note is there. It's rather waxy. I remember Stephen from Redolescence used the word waxy about this one, and I'm not sure what waxy smells like, but I know exactly what he means when he says that. So there's something a bit waxy in there, and it's quite woody as well. There is vetiver in there. The iris, apart from giving that lipstick thing, there is a certain freshness that can come with iris. So rather than citrus freshness, there's an element of a clean, fresh feeling from the iris, and there is some masculinity, I think, with the woodiness of that vetiver note. So for me, although this is not the most obviously macho scent, I don't think it's an effeminate scent. Women could certainly wear it, but if a man wears it, I don't think it will do anything to challenge his sense of masculinity. I think this one really conjures up very much a 21st century visualization of what masculinity should be. It's quite a metrosexual fragrance, and to me it is actually quite brilliant. I've been a big fan of Dior Homme Parfum and Dior Homme Intense, and I've tended to maybe bypass this one just a little bit because I've been drawn to the intense versions, or the more intense versions. I'm a little bit shallow and simple that way. When there is a stronger version, a Parfum version, intense, I tend to want that. But what I've overlooked here is that the Dior Homme fragrance here and I'm talking about its 2011 iteration, is very, very versatile, a little bit more easy to wear than Dior Homme Intense, which is a little bit more nighttime appropriate, and the same would apply in comparison with Dior Homme Parfum. So this one is really signature scent worthy. You can wear this to work, I think, no problem. On a night out, it's great. On intimate occasions, I think this would be sexy. It smells clean, but it smells interesting. It's got something a little bit seductive about it. So this fragrance, it's really, really brilliant. I can't speak about the old version. I'll leave people in the comments down below to say if there's big differences, what they notice the differences to be. I know Greg, who's the man in charge at Fragrance Samples UK, of course, has a brilliant YouTube channel, GreggyBoy76, and I'm pretty sure I remember him saying he actually prefers the reformulated version. So there are very few people that I've seen saying that the reformulation really sucks and you have to get the old one, but I do know some people prefer the old one. What we can be sure of is that the modern version is a very decent fragrance, and not one of these ones where the reformulation sucks. Now, my last video was about La Nuit de l'Homme by Yves Saint Laurent. There, the performance on that fragrance is poor. The fragrance has really been emasculated. It's not the same anymore, and I wouldn't recommend buying it. With this one, you can go ahead. This new 2011 formula will do you absolutely fine. I know they're reformulating Dior Homme Sport soon. I haven't got that fragrance. I have tried it, but I haven't tried the reformulation, so that'll be interesting for other people. Will do a better comparison than me, reviewers who actually own Dior Homme Sport. So this fragrance also on the performance, very good. It gives interesting wafts throughout the day. It's not really a big beast mode projector, but longevity seems in the good category for me, and you get little different nuances throughout the day, so I think it sticks around really well. Comparisons, other things you might consider. Well, there's Valentino Uomo. Now, this is by Olivier Polge, the original perfumier for Dior Homme. This has a lot of similar feel about it, a lot of similar smells, but a little bit more sweet. It's got a hazelnut kind of chocolate note in there. It leans a little bit more towards gourmand territory, and it is really nice, but yes, a little bit more sweet, so that's worth considering. And of course, Dior Homme Intense is really nice, as I mentioned, and Dior Homme Parfum I do have, and that is probably my favourite from the line. I think this is a 10 out of 10. But it's much darker and more rich and more masculine, and I probably wouldn't wear this to work or on casual daytime situations. It's really a nighttime type of scent, and very, very strong, powerful projection, and with a much exaggerated note of leather in this one. So overall, my conclusion then on Dior Homme, brilliant fragrance. I've now come around to this one a little bit more than I liked it before, because I've had the 5ml sample, had a chance to wear it. It really does well when you're wearing it for a couple of days. You experience what a great fragrance it is. So I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Couldn't go any lower than that. And my favourite from the line is the Dior Homme Parfum, still 10 out of 10. But this one is, the Dior Homme is more versatile and more of a signature scent. And the reformulation smells lovely. So Great Reformulations, a series I'll be continuing with. So look out for the next one. Whatever you're doing in life, let's project, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.